Yo, 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 it's your boy Mark Goodman, aka the voice box of the block. I'm back with another one. You know, I'm hopping in the window like, bro, man, what's happening? Man, I'm excited. I'm definitely excited.
Well, I'm excited too.
thank you, man. This should have happened a little earlier in the year, kind of like Black History Month.
Oh wow, that would have been awesome.
Because I was searching.
Wow.
I was definitely searching, and I'm so glad that I was able to. It doesn't matter whether it's February or March, April.
Right, we celebrate all the time anyway.
Yeah, and
24/7, 365.
And who to contact more than a person who is a fighter, a freedom fighter, and who has a wonderful organization. And for those who don't know, I want you to introduce yourself.
My name is Traci Fant. I'm organizer of Freedom Fighters Upstate South Carolina, based in Greenville, South Carolina, but we moved throughout the upstate and throughout the United States.
Listen, thank you for so much. I've heard about you.
Really?
So
that's dope. That's
you're
dope.
not
Okay.
you're not foreign to me.
That's
I've
awesome.
heard about you. I've studied you the last 2 days because I like to study people when they come
Right.
on, give them the utmost respect, and you
Okay.
do such a wonderful job
Well, I
in the
appreciate
community.
it. Thank you.
And I got questions. I've recited myself 100 times, so we ain't got to go.
Right.
This ain't we ain't judging you nothing like that. This
No,
is
it's
the Good
cool.
Guy podcast.
Oh yeah,
And we
that's
love.
what's
And one thing that I love about this podcast is we talk about is that you can be authentic, you can be genuine, and we can start from the basics. And start from the basics is where you from?
I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. I grew up in
Detroit.
Detroit. Oh, yeah.
Detroit.
Yeah.
Big Detroit. How is
City.
it Detroit? I've never been to Detroit, matter of fact.
Detroit's the coolest city on the planet.
Really?
Oh yeah. I tell people all the time, I grew up on the blackest city, the blackest city on the planet, for real.
Man.
But it was so cool because actually my neighborhood was like a melting pot. And so we had a lot of different races, a lot of different religions.
Really?
Just everything. And so it was
Very
really
diverse.
Cool. Oh yeah, it was a vibe, a whole vibe.
So coming up in Detroit, how was your life?
It was cool. It was okay. Inner city kid, mom raising 4 kids by herself. So,
4?
Yeah. So we saw the struggle. However, my dad and my grandparents on his side were very involved in my life, in our lives. So, it could have been worse.
Yeah.
It could have been worse.
Yeah. So it's basically you would say like the typical.
No, not really. I ain't gonna say typical now. I ain't gonna say. We had to get it out the mud for
Absolutely,
real.
absolutely.
It wasn't.
Absolutely.
It wasn't easy.
What I mean by that is I would say the typical black family is a struggle.
Like good times.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. When I say typical, it's a typical struggle.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So what made you come to Greenville?
My brother, after my brother was murdered.
Wow.
My younger brother, Andre, was murdered.
Okay.
Body left in an abandoned building, shot execution style.
Wow.
And my mom packed us up and we came down here.
So
the rest is history.
So rest in peace to your brother first.
Thank you, I appreciate
I'm sorry to hear about that because I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And that's sad to hear. So did that kind of inspire you to be a freedom fighter and start the organization?
Well, not at first. At first, I just had like a lot of anger and a lot of resentment towards a lot of people. But as I grew older and I grew in my cause, I realized that God had a different calling in my life. And so I turned that angry energy into positive energy and started doing things in the community. But the thing that really set it off was in Chicago, there's a young guy named Darian. He was attacked by some of his schoolmates and killed. He was beaten to death.
Wow.
And I saw that video and I just said, you know what? I want to do something to bring awareness to the violence in our community. And that's kind of how it started.
Yeah. And I think, let me tell you something, when it comes to a fight, being organized is key. Having an organization behind you is very vital in so many ways.
Right.
And you first of all, you're a female.
Yeah.
And you doing the fight, and you do such an amazing job with that. So building this organization, what type of services that you provide?
Wow. We provide services all the way from, helping people in the homeless community, which is something I'm very passionate about, to prison reform. We work with a lot of incarcerated individuals, helping them get second chance jobs, housing, and all that. But also I have access to the prison, so sometimes I go into a prison, visit with the inmates, I'll look at the food, I'll do all kinds of stuff, get in contact with their families. I think that's a huge part of what I do. Also, the missing and unsolved homicide.
I see you do that a lot.
Yeah.
And you talk about the homeless, and I've been to Greenville for about think about 10 years.
Okay.
And the homeless has
It's grown.
And
but that's because of gentrification, though.
Yeah, and you was talking about Chicago as well, and I went to Chicago for my birthday. Wonderful
Detroit.
city.
Oh yeah,
you was talking about Chicago,
right.
Wonderful city.
Oh yeah, Chicago.
I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But I almost got anxiety when it got dark for the homeless. It is. Right. Oh my God, it's bad, and to come to Greenville, when I come back to Greenville and I see it, and I see it growing, and a person like yourself is putting up a lot of, because I do a lot for the homeless. I give back, I give clothing, I give food, etc., and obviously having an organization like you who go out there and does such a wonderful job. Let's talk about some of the things you do for the homeless.
You know, we go out, like during COVID, for instance, we took out care packets, and we also taught them the importance of, good hygiene. During COVID, I realized that if COVID hit the homeless community, it would have wiped them out. It would have wiped them out. And so we took shower units for them to the homeless community. We made sure they had sanitizer. We made sure they had face masks and hand gloves, soap, and different things like that. And it became a passion of mine because I was there once.
Yeah, I seen that. And you said your house got burned down. And that's like a dramatic incident in itself, and to have to recover and realizing that, listen, I gotta tell the kids we ain't got nowhere to go.
Exactly. And I mean, that was one of those moments where I was afraid. I didn't know what to do because I had a good job, I had a nice house, I had everything going on, and in the blink of an eye, everything was gone. All my material stuff was gone, which I knew I could revamp and re-get that. However, just telling my kids that our life was about to change and we were going to have to live in a hotel for a few months, that right there, it hurt. But then again, it was a great lesson because while we were living in a hotel, I met homeless people there. I met people that was dealing with situations that were a lot worse than ours, and that's what made me realize that just because you're going through something, man, somebody in this world going through something 10 times worse.
Yeah. And a lot of times I go downtown and I have spoken to some homeless, and it doesn't necessarily mean they on drugs or anything. Some of them are waiting for housing.
Exactly.
Some of them have nowhere to go. Exactly. They don't have.
Some are dealing with mental illness.
Mental illnesses, and their parents can't deal with them, so they kick them out. And things of that nature. They don't want to take their medicine. So dealing with mental illness is a struggle in itself. Oh yeah. So you being able to come out here and put out a definitely good fight is wonderful. So as we dive into your organization, because again, I think that is the foundation of a fight. Yeah. You can't win without backup.
That's true.
I don't care who you are. And I feel like sometimes in the black community, you can help me with this. Sometimes in the black community, it's like, I want to do it by myself. I don't care what it is. It's me. I don't want to. I don't need no help. And I think that's the last thing that we should have a mindset on.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And do you get that? Do you understand what I'm saying? Sometimes.
Oh yeah, I definitely get that.
The pushback.
Yeah, especially not being from here. Growing up in Detroit and stuff, and then coming here, and it's like sometimes you feel like they're saying, "How dare you come down with this mindset?" But I've been here for a lot of years.
Yeah.
What people don't realize, I worked at BMW for 17 years. Before then, I worked at a call center. I did everything, and then I raised my kids in the process. And so now that I'm really able to, I left BMW, retired, and began to do what I'm doing now. Right. I'm able to do more and give more to the community.
Absolutely.
But the pushback is what's hurtful, because a lot of times you got to just really kick in those doors that they're not allowing you in.
Exactly.
And it's like, then being a woman, that's another thing. Being a
powerful woman.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you something, because there's a difference between being a weak woman and a powerful woman.
Definitely.
And a powerful woman can be intimidating when you walk in the room.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I
don't cower down for anybody. I'm myself in everything I go into, for real.
And that's exactly how you should be.
Oh yeah.
And that's how you should carry yourself, because you're the voice of the people. And being the voice of the people, sometimes you get pushback, and sometimes you get questioned about some of your decision making. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So when you get those, how do you react? Because like I said, I wanted to apologize for one of the questions. You do get more love than you get negativity, and I want to apologize to you.
Oh no, that's cool.
You know what I mean? So, but how do you react sometimes?
I was always taught that everybody's not gonna like what you do. You know, and if they do, then you're not doing it right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not a people pleaser. And so I know that there are some people who are going to love what we do and some people who aren't going to adhere to it. However, I know what I'm here for,
Right.
and I know why I do it.
Right.
You know, I do it from the heart, and my whole concept is a genuine concept as to where if somebody don't want me to be involved or whatever, or if they don't include us, freedom fighters, we already know we'll fall back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because eventually God is going to open up that door. See, I truly believe that my name is called in rooms I haven't entered yet. And the reason why I believe that is because the phone calls I receive sometime when I'm like, dang, I didn't even know this person knew me. And they're like, oh yeah, I was in such and such and somebody brought your name up and they told me I need to reach out to you. And so even when you face an adversary and you know that, you know, their intent was not to invite you to something, but then God had a different plan, I just move with that plan, you know. I don't have the expectation of being invited to everything. In fact, I'm invited to a lot less stuff than people think. And I think it's because people don't know how to take me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm a truth speaker and a truth seeker. You know, and I never double down on my truth.
Right.
And I never limit myself or limit others for knowing who I truly am.
Right.
And so people look at the way people dress and they say, okay, if this person's dressed up in a business suit every day, they got their stuff together.
Right.
That's not always true.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? That's
Absolutely.
not always true.
I guess.
And so if you don't accept a person because they wear Adidas, then dress up, then that's on you. But
Right.
you're missing out on a great thing.
Right. Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
And so a lot of times people think that because you don't dress a certain way, you don't talk a certain way, you don't walk a certain way, then, or you don't have a certain title,
Right.
then you can't be included.
Right.
But they speak highly on diversity and inclusion.
Right.
Inclusion means everybody gets invited to the party and everybody gets asked to dance. Right?
Yes. Absolutely.
And so, you know, I'm just like, hey, sometimes I don't even, now before, years ago, yeah, I would get offended. I'd be like, man, they didn't invite me. Oh my God, I ain't on that flyer or whatever.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like, it's not my turn. It just wasn't my turn.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
I mean, this existed since 2015.
Exactly.
And you have learned a lot.
Yeah.
What are some of the lessons you have learned outside of what you have just said? What are some of the lessons?
Okay, so
Because
actually,
when I say that, because you go in a lot of homes,
yeah,
and you deal with a lot of emotions,
yeah,
and you deal with your own emotions.
Right.
You're married,
yeah,
so you deal with those emotions.
right.
You're a mother.
Oh yeah.
You deal with those emotions. So how do you? I mean, how do you deal with that? Like,
Well, I mean, rule number one for me is always meet a person where they are. I don't ever go into any space expecting to automatically change someone's life or expecting for somebody to automatically accept me or expecting that they're going to get where I'm coming from.
Absolutely.
So I would rather understand where you're coming from. And so everything starts from a conversation.
Absolutely.
A genuine conversation where you have an open heart and an open mind and you really want to see and value that other person. A lot of people walk into a space thinking that they bring total value to the room,
Right.
but I think that everybody together brings value. And so that's why even with my organization, I have a leadership team, I have a security team, I got a media team,
Absolutely.
everything. And if I wasn't the type of person I am that didn't include everyone on my team when I make committed decisions,
Right.
then my team will be like, what you need us for when you think you can do it all by yourself?
Absolutely.
And so when I walk into a space, when I meet people, I know that I have to meet them where they are.
Absolutely.
You know, that's just it.
And I think that's very important to appreciate your team.
Oh yeah.
And I think because I mean, all the
my
hats,
team got my back 100%.
all the hats that you can have,
Yeah.
you know, you taking them off of people that you can trust.
Right.
I think that's amazing. And speaking of these cases, when you look at these cases, I always wonder because you know I see different things trending on Facebook, different things,
Right.
and when these people go out, and such as Black Lives Matter, and such as the freedom fighters, when you look at these incidents, are you looking at the blackness? Are we going with the blackness? Or are we going with common sense?
Oh no.
Because sometimes some of these cases you be like, we was wrong.
Yeah.
But because we black, you got
sense. Right. No, I got common sense.
I'm just saying because sometimes when you gotta look at it and automatically they call Traci supposed to come through, we supposed to raise this, bring this, and we ain't sitting back and say, okay, did it make sense?
Right. You have to really.
Because some people put their blackness first.
Right. I learned that early in the game. You know what I'm saying? I have to really, understand what's going on first.
Right,
I got to
right.
get a grasp on it. And it doesn't matter to me whether you're black, white, Hispanic, whatever.
Right.
I look at the cause, not the individual.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I look at the issue, not the person.
Right.
You know, and see if I can help you. That's the thing. Because a lot of people, they'll walk in and they know they can't offer this person no help. If I can't help you, I'm wasting your time. If
Absolutely.
you need help and I'm sitting around you and I can't do anything for you, then if I can't direct you to somebody that can really help you, then why am I there?
Absolutely.
And so if I can't help with a situation, or if you don't want my help in a situation, if you don't want my help, I'm gonna take my hands off of it.
Right.
And once we get to the point where you say I don't want or I don't need your help or you're not a help to me, I'm gonna fall on back.
Yeah.
And I'm really good at falling back.
I think everybody has to be good at that.
I'm telling you, I'm good.
And while we talk about falling back, I think everything. You know how like stories happen.
Right.
People tell things, people say things, and I'm like I don't like listening to stuff like that.
Right.
I like the honest,
Yeah.
and I like to come from the root. The biggest stories I think trending is the Alexis Wild.
Right.
And I want you to just give me an update on it, and then I wanted someone to talk about as far as how you handle it and some of the pushback you may or may have not had.
Right.
With Traci's family, one of Traci's family members.
With Alexis family.
Alexis, I'm sorry.
I don't really have an update. I still pray that she's found or she returns home safe.
Absolutely.
But
absolutely.
when her aunt basically said she didn't want me involved, or she kind of tried to call me out, and the thing about that is it was so crazy to me because even when I was in Arizona on business, I still made sure I kept in touch with the mom.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I feel that regardless of what everybody else got going on in the family, this is that mother's child.
Yes.
And once she and I connected and we started talking, I'm a mother. You know, my daughter is around the same age as her daughter.
Yes.
And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to work this case just like I would work it if my own daughter was missing. And so I stayed in really good contact with the mother. I felt like that's the only person that I owed that to.
Absolutely.
You know, and so then when it got to a point where it was some back and forth on social media about it, you know, I said, you know what? I'm sorry if I didn't do everything you wanted me to do.
Right.
I tried my best.
And did social media help the case?
Social media helps every case. They help.
Because when I was following, it just went. The legs on it just kind of went. They had groups and things of that nature.
Right.
You know, we hope she comes home.
I mean, there can be
safe.
too much involved and too many people involved, and that can muddy the water.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, social media does help because the people, just like when we post a flyer and we ask people to share it, and they share it and share it. Like I found a lot of people like that. You know, and so and social media also helps with getting tips, and they're pretty good at solving cases too.
Yes.
Believe it or not, social media has solved a lot of cases.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Do a lot on social media.
Yeah, people don't give them credit for it. They do solve some cases.
They think the feds don't watch social media.
Right. But again, like too many things, too many people getting involved. Like you said, too many legs on it, and it can make it look like it's all over the place.
Yes.
But you know, like I said, still with Alexis Ware, I pray that she makes it home safely, and I think about it all the time.
Absolutely.
But it's like,
do you when it's like some of these major cases, people that we have very heartfelt as far as the case grows and we start being emotionally attached to it. Right. How do you deal with being emotionally attached to a case?
Well, that's hard. You know, the biggest missing persons case I've ever worked on was the Leona Wright case.
Right.
You know, and that was a baby.
Yeah.
And the way she disappeared, it was terrible. Yeah. And I still hold that case close to my heart. Right. I don't feel like we've ever got that family closure, and we probably never will.
Right.
But it's very difficult to detach yourself. See, and that's the type of person I am, and that's why I have to be really choosy on what I get involved with, because I do attach myself to the case, to the family. You know, I keep in touch with people. I'm very professional with it. And I also put them in contact with people who can help too, not only on a local level, but on a national level. You know, me being connected to other civil rights leaders, me being connected to attorneys, me being connected to people who can really help, even at the police department. You know, I would not be able to do people a good service if I didn't have those great connections, and if I didn't build those quality connections.
Right.
Whereas I can redirect a family member and say, you know what, I think that right now is the time that we call the media.
Right.
Right now is the time that we call an attorney.
Right.
Right now is the time that we call another civil rights leader in another area.
Right.
You know, and the families really appreciate that I have that reach.
Yeah, because I think one people got to understand is you have after you finish protesting, you got to go to work.
Oh yeah.
So there have to be organizations behind you to continue while you go to work. Because again,
well, I don't go to work.
No, you don't go. I'm talking about you to work. When I call on you and I finish protesting, I trust on you to say, you know what, I'm gonna keep his case going. I'm gonna keep it open. I'm gonna take it to a level that I can't take it to.
And that's the most important part. See, protesting, that's the first step.
That's the first thing.
But that's to get the door open. And once you walk in the door, what is your conversation going to be like? See, if you don't have a conversation when you get to the table, then what's the use of even having you at the table?
Yes, absolutely.
See, my conversation has grown so much since I've been doing this.
Absolutely.
That now, the protesting part, some of the freedom fighters can do that.
Yeah.
But the other parts of it, you know, I have a team of people to help with that. And,
absolutely.
And I'm really good at the table.
You're great at the table, and that's why you should feel comfortable with dealing with you in these major cases, because we all want to fight for justice, we want to fight for right. But I need help, and I'm not ashamed to say it. And I'm so thankful and honored that you're here and you're fighting.
Oh yeah.
And when you having these major resources and you all over the place and people know your name, you always getting judged, each and everything going on, trending.
Right.
And then things happen and why this happened? Why that happened? Like picture floating around. Mm-hmm. It's a picture of you and the weather reporter, Miss Amy Woods, and her daughter. We all know was swirling around a video of her saying racial slurs.
Right.
Her mother said she was baited into that, and those her words, I think. And a lot of people have mixed emotions.
Right.
In the black community, black and brown community.
Right.
And I wanted your take on that.
Well, you know,
because my
thing is this right here.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I've known Amy for a very long time.
You have?
We've been friends for a long time.
You have?
Over 12 years. In fact, my social media, one of my memories was me and her 10 years ago. Mm. I saw Gracie playing in the studio, 5-6 years old. So when that happened, I didn't really know what to think. So I didn't make a statement. I didn't say anything. I didn't even contact Amy. Because I was out of state. I wasn't even here. But when I returned, and Amy called me, and she said, you know, I don't know what's going on with Grace. She said, first I want to apologize. She said, I've been calling all my friends and telling them that I want to apologize on her behalf and on my family's behalf. She said, I don't know where she got that from. So she and we had a long conversation, and this is friends talking. This is not, because we talk often.
Right.
So this is not, some white chick calling me because I'm a black activist and trying to get a photo up and trying to get me. I've known her for years. Right. And so she said, Traci, can you help? Can you help me and my child? Can you help me figure this out? Right. I said, sure I can. Because in that moment, that's like me reaching out to, if it was reversed, and she and I have been friends for so long, and I said, can you help me with my daughter? And she said, no, I can't say no. If we friends in real life, I'm going to say, let me see, because the thing is, I want to know where it came from, too. I want to know if I've been sitting around you at your dinner table, at the, you know what I'm saying, at the news station or whatever, I want to know, too, did this come from your house or did this come from another entity? Yeah,
because sometimes, you know, I get mixed emotions. And, you know, sometimes are we friends or are we friendly?
Right, and so with that being said, she said, she said she asked me to mentor her. I said, of course I will. Of course I will. And that's how it began. That's how it started. Mm-hmm. But my mentorship is just not me. Mm. Just like with every other case, I have people all over the country. So we start mentoring via Zoom, Zoom meetings with her, Zoom mediation. My mentoring is education. Right. But not only that, my mentoring does not include the parent. Mm. And so Amy, give her to us. Let us tell her about the Holocaust. Mm. Let us teach her about Hitler. Mm. Let us teach her about slavery, because even though you may have been involved in a George Floyd protest, you were involved in the moment, but obviously you didn't get the message.
Absolutely.
So let us connect you with that message. Let us introduce our pain to you.
Right. Do you think they can feel it?
Yeah, I think after you educate somebody, and there's always room for education, because if you're 17, I'd rather deal with a 17-year-old who's lost their way than a 27-year-old who don't care about anything. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Because once you're 27, you're already set in your ways. Right. And so, with that being said, the first thing I wanted to know was, did that come from your house? Where'd you hear that from? How did you? And it came from the people that she's at school with. Yeah. I even saw videos of them some of the other kids that nobody really saw them doing the same, doing even worse, saying
Right.
even worse
Right.
in the lunchroom, different stuff like that. You know, because she went to a private school, and so you know, they see black kids or they see Asian kids, whatever, and some of the kids that was at the table or in the cafeteria
Right.
would say things.
Mm.
It didn't. So once I realized it didn't come from the home and it came from the atmosphere, the environment,
Right.
and that's what a lot of people don't understand. People say it starts at the home. Everything don't start in the home.
Nah, don't.
Everything don't start in the home.
Society, you can pick it up from society.
I'm telling you, my son, he did some things, gang affiliated and all kind of stuff.
Right.
I ain't gang affiliated. My
Yeah.
husband ain't gang affiliated.
Absolutely.
We live in the suburbs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so everything don't start in the home. And
No.
we had very genuine, conscious conversations with him and with my other children.
Yeah.
But he made a decision on his own
Right.
at 15, 16, 17 years old that he was going to go his own way.
Right.
A lot of times we can't blame the parents for the stuff our kids got, but you can pray that they come back to the ways that you taught them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so once I realized, okay, once it came to light for me and for the other mentors that was on the virtual call, that where it came from,
Right.
then we knew where to start.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay.
And that's why I was comfortable. And not only that, like I said, I know Gracie. I've known
Right.
her for years. It's
Right.
not like it's not like I don't know her.
Right, and
That's
I think
the whole thing.
I think that's the whole thing, and I think that for me, when I looked at it, because I'm late to the party, you know, as I was doing the research, it popped
Right.
up, and people was talking about it,
Right.
and I felt like a person of your stature who was very strategic,
Right.
who's very calculated, wouldn't take that picture if she wasn't a friend.
Exactly.
If it wasn't,
I can show you right now on my
if
phone.
it wasn't just bigger than
Right.
just any political thing or anything of that nature,
Right.
so
And
it had to be more.
I'm not political. I'm not political.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
It has to be based off more than that. But I think
Right.
as a community, we're uncomfortable sometimes because we don't know.
But
so
don't,
we're judged.
but don't we want to? But isn't what this supposed to be all about though?
It should. It's
Isn't
supposed to be.
it supposed to be all about educating and talking and speaking about things and all this stuff?
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm a mentor for a lot of people, a lot of young people. I'm a mentor at Furman University. I'm a mentor with young adults that attend Greenville Tech.
Right.
I'm a mentor in the prisons. And so somebody said, well, shame on her for mentoring that 17-year-old white girl. I said, but I mentor murderers in the prison. I mentor murderers in the prison.
You got a point. You got a
So,
point.
I don't feel no shame in anything I do.
You know what? Sometimes when there's a desire, God gives the person the desire, and when you have a desire such as yours of giving that service, it does not matter what color.
Color never, because you know why? Because like I said, I came from the blackest place on the planet, right? For real.
Yeah.
In fact, in Detroit, in Michigan, we get the least amount of sun. That's one state that gets the least amount of sun, right?
Right.
So I come from literally the blackest place, right?
Right.
But because I came from a multicultural neighborhood, all right, get this though, multicultural, but how about this? I never encountered a white person in my neighborhood. I never encountered a white person at school, not even on the city bus, because we rode the city bus.
Right.
I never encountered a white person. Now, we had Greek, we had Haitian, we had Chaldean, we had all, but we never had, so I never encountered a white person. So until I was 17 years old and got on the school bus in South Carolina, I had never seen a white person.
Wow.
Never.
Wow.
So that's where I'm at with this.
Okay.
And so if I can move like that and say, okay, I never seen that.
Right.
And so there was another racist rant that went on. I can't remember where it was, but I just have a curiosity as to where does that come from.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Even when I was in Walhalla and I walked up to the people carrying Confederate flags.
Right.
I ain't never feared no flag, not the Confederate flag, because I'm from up north.
Right.
And we won.
Absolutely.
You feel me? Like, we won.
Right.
So that really that flag never brought any fear to my heart, because I was always taught that we won that.
Absolutely.
And so when I see that and I walk over to him and I say, let's have a conversation, and we have a conversation and it's very meaningful, and then I bring those people together, and guess what they did? They continued the conversation, and they created a diversity and inclusion community right there in Walhalla, South Carolina, the first ever. I helped do that.
That's amazing.
So it's like I don't feel no type of way about it. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna mentor Gracie because people mad at me. I will mentor anybody. People reaching out to me now. The only reason why I haven't taken on any new young people right now is because I had some stuff going on with me, some anxiety and some stress, and I can't fix you if I'm broken. I can't help you if I'm not whole. And so I had to work on me. I had to take some downtime to work on me.
Everybody does.
Yeah,
I think everybody does.
And that's
not a bad thing.
Yeah, but the parents who reached out to me, I emailed them last week. I'm gonna connect with them and their kids, black, white, Hispanic. You know, I can't speak Spanish, but I'm gonna try to figure it out.
Right.
Because I'm here to help people.
Right. So, do you feel like being a voice and being a leader, you're obligated to speak on every move you make?
No.
Man, listen, she's doing this. I got to ask her about this.
No, I don't feel obligated to report to anybody.
Because when I ask you these questions, I'm like, do she really want to answer these questions?
Yeah. I don't mind. If it's something I want to answer, I'll tell you straight up. I'll tell you straight up. I'm not nervous about any of my moves. For real. And like I said, I don't feel bad about anything I do. If I do it to help somebody, I do it genuinely and from my heart. Whether it's a missing person case, an unsolved homicide, mentoring someone, going in the homeless community, whatever. I do that stuff because I want to. Yeah. But after I left BMW, I ain't had to answer to nobody.
I know that's right.
No, for real. And plus, in this season, I'm heavy on me in this season.
Absolutely.
I'm heavy on me.
Absolutely. And speaking, I follow you a lot, and you do a lot of posting of missing people.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that's growing in Greenville.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And sadly, and talk about the fight about that a little bit.
It's a true fight because we have so many people. We have so many missing people.
It is.
And the thing about it is, sex trafficking. What people don't realize is that we're right on the southern corridor. So right there at the highway mark off Augusta Road. Right. If you get traffic from one of those hotels, they can hop on the highway. They can go either way.
And they're gone.
You know what I'm saying? And they're gone in a split second. Black women especially are completely ignored by the media when they go missing.
Yes.
That's a fact. Yes. People hate when we say it, but it's true. Yes. And you see it because look at all the different missing people who you've seen in the media who are Caucasian. Right. All the efforts that they put behind them being missing. Right. That's a conversation that people really need to have and that we really need to have. That's the type of dialogue that we need to have.
We do.
Because when Miss Ware went missing, and so many others, not just her, so many others went missing. If it wasn't for social media really championing for her to get found or for clues or whatever, that case would have fell flat. Right now I'm working on a case with a young man. He's missing from Spartanburg. His name is Devontae. They call him Nunu. Devontae Griffin. He went home with his girl. I don't know what happened. She being quiet about it. Wow. And he's nowhere to be found, and this is the third week. Wow. But you don't see that on the national news outlets or anything.
You don't. And I think when it comes to South Carolina, they need a media-based outlet for the culture.
They do.
And that's why I'm in the position I am. I'm so proud because I can give it to them.
That's what's
up. And I'm thriving because we're so talented in so many facets. And we have such wonderful people like yourself who fighting for just causes and rights. And I'm so glad that you diverse.
Oh yeah.
You're just not leading with your blackness. You're leading with consciousness and understanding. Right. And I think that's what's needed, man. So when you look at your future, 5 years, what's next for you?
Man, so we got so much stuff going on right now, but I'm gonna tell you one thing that I've been working on and I've been planning. We have a community garden, and it's really beautiful, but it's for stopping the violence. It's kind of like a stop the violence peace garden. Right. And we're gonna have a yoga area. Right. It's gonna be unlike anything anyone's seen. We have wind chimes, we got meditation music playing, we got greenhouses, everything. Right. And that's actually on land that we own. And so Freedom Fires is right now, this is what we're doing.
Right. So when it comes to support, how can we support your organization?
So I get that question so often. People can actually cash out.
I like to put the money up.
Yeah, they can actually cash out Freedom Fighters Fund. That's one of the easiest ways. If they want to donate right now, we really need gardening supplies. We need dirt or soil. Not dirt, soil. We need soil, we need seeds. We need people with green thumbs who are willing to educate our youth.
Yeah.
Because one thing about the community garden, we're going to have young people who've gotten into trouble, whether it's through DJJ, whether it's at school, or their parents might just say, let's go to the garden.
Right.
That's what it's there for.
Right.
And we're going to teach them the value of life.
I actually have a green thumb.
Really?
I'm pretty bad. I'm pretty tough.
That's what's up.
Outside.
That's what's up. We can use it for real.
But that's amazing.
I appreciate it.
That is amazing.
And that's something, I don't have a green thumb. I know zero about gardening.
Hey, really?
I swear.
You is from Detroit.
Yeah, I didn't even know. I tell you what, my friend, I pulled up in my friend's mother's driveway.
Right.
And I saw watermelons on the ground. I said, why your mom got all these watermelons out here? And she said, they're growing. I had no idea. It blew my mind.
So how can people reach out to you? How people can get in touch with you?
They can contact me through social media. Traci Fant is my Facebook page. T_Fant is me on Instagram, and Not Bad for 50 is me on TikTok. But then also they can email me at tracifant3@gmail.com or follow Freedom Fighters Upstate SC page.
Yes.
We have over 100,000 followers. We keep everybody updated with a lot of different things, and people message me on that page on a daily basis. If you really want to get in touch with me and it's an emergency, it's essential, you need to email me at tracifant3@gmail, because if you don't email me,
she responds fast.
Yeah, but not so much through the messenger though.
Well, yeah,
he can attest to that.
Yeah. It's a little slow, but I wanted to say, because this is an informative information podcast, man, and a lot of people might want to be freedom fighters. They might be inspired by your fight, male or female. What are some information you can give them, like some jewels you can give them on their journey?
Wow, just if it's put on your heart, do it. If it's put on your heart, do it, but do it for the right reason.
Absolutely.
It's always the cause before the person, the cause before the individual. And I had to learn that. Like, I had to step outside of me, because for so many years I thought it was all about me. It ain't all about me. It's about the cause. And so stay focused. Get out there and grind, do your thing, and just have faith that it's going to work out for you. Yes. I'm telling you, I stepped away from BMW 4 years ago and ain't missed a beat since. People thought I was crazy when I said I was leaving that job.
Right. Sometimes they think you're crazy for your ideas.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
but
saying?
Some of the craziest people come up with some of the best stuff.
You're absolutely right. My wife say I'm crazy all the time.
So. Look at your podcast, you know what I'm saying?
But thank you so much for coming through.
Oh yeah, you're welcome.
Come back again, man. If you need any of my services.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm always around Greenwood, man. I'm always supportive of any fight.
I appreciate it.
It's just for the cause of the black and brown of any color. If it's in the right movement, if it's in the right manner.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? It's your boy Mark Goodman, aka the voice box of the block. We out. Thank you.
No matter the topic, whatever it is, then you know that we got you. We spread the knowledge. We talk about politics, even the gossip. You can hear us on Spotify or tune in to YouTube. You even can watch us. I know we got haters. I can promise you one thing, that we never stop it. It's the Good Guy Podcast. I ain't bragging, but we are the greatest. It's the Good Guy Podcast.